We're done with our political discussion. Today is Wednesday.
It is.
Yes, because Jimmy needs a shave. You know, on Monday when I saw Jimmy,
Monday
he needed a shave really bad. And here it is Wednesday, and he still needs a shave.
But look at it, it's perfectly grew just the same.
Mm-hmm. But it's time for Ask Us Anything. So let's get to the questions. Now, this is from Liz Kearsing, Kearsing.
Okay.
He wants to know, this is like a sore subject for me, but did Jimmy ever wear braces as a child? His teeth are so nice and straight.
Yes, I did.
Yes, he did.
So.
Can you answer that, Jim, and then just tell him I'll call him back, please?
So, I did have braces, and my teeth were nice and straight, and I had a drill. That's what started a lot of it.
Yes.
I was drilling through a wall, and the drill bit caught, spun around, and knocked out everything from here, that way. Gone. So, it was not my fault.
That wasn't your fault.
So that came out. Then I got in a fight with one of my friends, but that was 2 days after.
2 days after we got the braces off.
And then the bottoms came out. Got that out. So basically I had like that left. So these are not real.
But they're paid for.
But they are paid for.
Anyway. The average Jay says your clack sounds amazing in the background, unless it was a fancy doorbell. Is it a full grandfather clock or a mantle clock? It's just a wall clock that you can play like 5 or 6 different styles of music on it. I think at the time right now we have Jimmy's favorite, which is the Beatles. But at Christmas time we put Christmas music on, things like that. We do have a grandfather clock that's going to my daughter Christy. We do have a mantle clock that's going to Jimmy, which was his grandfather's. And then the clock that you heard in the background is going to Danny. Ann H. wants to know about your weight loss.
Okay.
Which program are you on? How long is it, and how do you maintain?
It is MyFitnessPal is what I use to measure all my food and everything. And usually I go by 2,300 calories a day. And I can't do it every day, so I usually take Sunday. And Sunday I cook everything for my breaks and my lunch and my breakfast. So, well, not my breakfast, but my breaks and my lunch. And usually I'll start off with 3 eggs, the way she likes, the way I make them. So I'll start out with 3 eggs, 1 piece of toast, an energy drink, just basic vitamins, whatever it's called, men's multivitamin, and then 1 protein drink. And then at break, which is usually that's at like 4 in the morning. And then at break, which is at 9, I'll have another protein drink and a protein bar. So that gets me like 60 grams of protein. Altogether, I want to say like 220 grams of protein a day, something like that. Lunch, I will have whatever I made for the week. I alternate it. I'll have chicken and steak, but I'll have broccoli. I'll go between broccoli and Brussels sprouts, each one. So that'll be lunch, and then I'll have a protein drink with that. And then when I get home, I will have a small bowl of tortilla chips with a little bit of salsa. And then dinner, usually we'll just have whatever we're having, but I just won't pig out. It'll just, be just normal food. But usually I wake up and about an hour and 15 workout. So I do 30 minutes of cardio and the rest is all weightlifting. But I have to do it before work, because after work, I'm not doing nothing.
Behind the Slot said the same question, so it was a twofer.
And to maintain, I only pick one day to cheat, and it is never a weekend. It's always a weekday, because if it was a Saturday, I'd be all day. If I pick a weekday, it's like after work. Hey, I only got 4 hours to do this, so you're not going to have this.
Okay, Janet M. asked us a bunch of questions. We're going to answer 2 of them this week and save some of them for next week, which she said was fine.
Okay.
What could you give a 40-minute presentation on with absolutely no preparation?
Anything building.
He could, anything building. I could do a 40-minute presentation on raising children.
Or on sarcasm.
I would need more than 40 minutes
I was
for
going to
that.
say.
And when people come to you for help, what do they usually want help with?
Building stuff.
Building stuff, definitely. For me, it's just driving them somewhere, which I don't like to drive, so they know that it has to be within a 30-minute radius.
Right.
Because I'm not a big driver. But she has a bunch of other questions, but you'll have to tune in next week to hear the rest of Janet M's questions.
Okay.
Michelle Zerber, she's the one that said about, on the other video, about the snowman being the cocaine.
Oh, okay. What's
Oh,
that?
no.
Is that another joke? I don't like cocaine. I just like the smell.
No. Yeah, no, she didn't have a question. She was just talking about something. Lulu said thank you for answering her questions last week.
No problem.
Janet M. Wants to know if you could snoop on one family member's phone and never get caught, who would you pick?
That's a good question. I don't even know.
I would pick Christy.
I was just about to say Christy's only
Because Christy's phone is always binging. I'm thinking, who is
Yeah.
calling you so many times?
Christy or Danny, one of the two. Because
Well,
they're
Danny's
always,
always on their
they're
phones.
always on their phones.
But I don't know the Danny's. I think he's, well, I don't know. They're both, between the two of them. I think Danny more, because Danny gets more intent
That's true.
when he's on it.
That's
Christy
true.
can ignore a lot of them and get back to him, but Danny's,
Yeah, but Danny's right on it.
he's right on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say Danny.
Yeah.
Do you get car sick or seasick?
No and no.
No, I don't get sick either one. I can read in the car even, which is good. But I can't eat and travel because then I have bathroom issues. But that's not really car sick. It's just
Yeah.
my irritable bowel.
No problem with either.
Which family member would you choose to go with you to a Broadway play? That's me. I would pick my sister Mary. And how old were you when you got your very first cell phone?
My first cell phone? I was working with Bob, so I would have been 23.
23. I would have
Yeah,
been.
23. 22 or 23.
Well, I had a pager for the longest time.
Oh, I had a pager when I was 18.
I had a
I had the
pager.
fancy one that had the stocks come across it and the sports scores.
Oh, I didn't have that. I just had a pager.
Well, I had the other one too.
That was when I was working at Montgomery Ward's, when I was working at Eastland. That was in 98. I would think I probably got my first cell phone probably in 2000, 2001, something like that. Because it was after I was done working there
2001, that would have meant
20 years ago.
I was 29.
Yeah,
No.
probably. I don't think that I had one. So I know I had the pager when I was working there and then they went out of business in 98. And I started over at, you know what, I would take that back. It was 98 because I remember when Denise got me the job working at Creative Risk. And I started at 7 in the morning, and I remember at 10 o'clock I went in my car for a break and told her if it wasn't for the fact that her best friend got me the job, I'd be quitting because I hated it that much. I stayed there for 15 years. Kim Bedgood. She didn't have a question. I just let him wave to Kim Bedgood.
No.
Brandy Granton wants to know, was Jimmy in any sports in school?
Yes. Huge basketball star. Huge.
No, he wasn't.
Still suck at it.
No, he was not. He did play baseball,
I played baseball.
but not in school. It was
Outside of school. Well, we didn't have a baseball team
Yeah.
at the school.
No. They had a soccer team. Well, they didn't
I
have
was
a
on the soccer team. Yeah, we had the soccer team for 1 year, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
So I was on the soccer team. It was a Catholic school, so,
Yeah.
funding.
Funding, yeah.
I had 1 year of football in high school, 9th grade.
That's true. I forgot about that. He was no Rudy.
I was no Rudy. Hockey. Played a lot of hockey. But none of them were in school because they didn't have any of them.
No.
Any of the sports I wanted in school.
Did either one of you go to your school prom?
I did.
I did. I went with Jim. Who'd you go with?
Becky.
Oh, you remember Becky? Okay. If you could have one day with any historical person, who would it be?
Ooh. Any historical person. Like to find out anything, or you were just hanging out?
It doesn't say. It just says if you could have one day, there's just one day with that historical person, who would it be?
I would say
I don't even know. There's so many historical people that it would be kind of cool to be with.
I would
That's a hard
say
one.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd be afraid I'd get beat up.
Well, yeah, but then you could see what
Yeah,
what he was going through, or
right.
and he'd be in all the meetings with the president to see what was really talked about.
That's true. That's true. I guess I would want to talk with John Glenn to see what he thought about going into space. What his thoughts were before he went into space. That would be kind of cool. Who was the president when you were born?
Nixon. I
Eisenhower.
am not a crook.
Eisenhower. Eisenhower, and Nixon was the vice president.
See? Full circle.
Full circle. How far apart are you from your siblings?
I am
Age-wise.
5 years from Danny.
4.5.
4.5, and like 8.5 from Christy. Or 9.
Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah.
I am 2 years from my brother Michael, 3 years from my sister Sue, 7 years from my brother Pat, 8 years from my sister Mary, and 10 years from my sister Denise. Emma Sue is new to our channel. Hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Jimmy is my oldest son.
I know I look so young.
He looks so young,
So-
but he's going to be 50
50. No.
next year.
Next year.
I was like, wait, he always thinks, yeah, no, next
Not
year.
yet. Not that I care, but I'm just saying not this year.
Next year. For me, Sandy, did Jim always work for the schools? No, Jim was a sprinkler fitter for fire protection most of his life. He did, when he got out of the service, he worked at ADT for a hot minute, and then he did take some little side jobs until he passed the requirements for the sprinkler fitters. I always told my dad stories, and my dad always believed him. He was kind of gullible, and so I had told my dad that Jim was part Indian, American Indian, Native American. I always told my dad, like, I said, like when I was in Ireland, you were in Ireland. When did you go to Ireland? You didn't let me know, because my dad was kind of gullible.
Right.
But I had told him that Jim was part Native American, and so when they were filling out the things, he could get his sons in, but Jim was his son-in-law, and so he had told him that he was Native American so that he would check the box for the minorities. That's how Jim got into being a sprinkler fitter. But Jim retired in 2005, and then I retired in 2013, and then coincidentally,
I was going to say, just happened to be
Jim went back to work.
2014.
No, it's 2013.
Was
He
it
went back
13?
in September.
Yeah.
I was 12? Or 2012. So, yeah. So he's a custodian. Valerie Reese wants to know, have either of you been fired from a job? Not all your jobs, a job.
Listen, technically, if we're going to get technical, I have never been fired from a job. If we're getting technical, I have never been fired from a job. I have quit plenty of jobs, but I have never been fired.
Well, when you worked at the fruit market and you said you wanted to take a break.
I quit.
No, he said, there's the door. Go
You
ahead
said
and
you
take your break.
could take your break out there and
Which
you
is
keep
another
working.
way of saying you're
and I
fired.
said, okay, I'll take my break out there.
Which
I
is
quit.
another way of saying you're fired. I have never been fired from a job. I've been laid off from a job. And I've lost my
Right.
job due to the company going out of business.
Right, same thing. I've been laid off, or
Not as many times as Jimmy, though.
and that was all in a year. So
We had to have a separate
I only
sheet
had
of paper.
one bad year.
Yeah, it was a bad year.
Taxes were a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, they were a little confusing. Louise Gillian, Gullion, wants to know, how is your quitting smoking going?
I'm in half, but I'm not quit.
He's quit many a time.
I have quit 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Now is probably not the time with all this going on. I know it's an excuse, but I'll go with it.
And Janet Moss, I don't think this is true. She said she just realized that her parents had 5 really boring kids. I don't think so.
No.
There were times I wish I had some boring kids, let me tell you, as we were making our court appearances.
Yes.
Okay, this is for Judy, for Jemmy, from Judy Reve. How did you and Samantha meet? How long did you date before you got married? And did you have a big wedding?
Okay, we met online. I can't remember the website. No, I know the year.
Oh.
It was 2012. So we've been together 9 years. October 8th will be 9 years. We are not married, nor will we be.
Ever.
Ever. We both agree on that. We're basically married anyway. It's the same thing. We're living together, common law. We're not going anywhere, so what's the difference? So no, we didn't have a big wedding.
Oh, and that's it for the questions. Unless we want to go back and answer some more of,
Let's answer some more.
okay, let's see where they were. What is it something you think everyone should do at least one? Oh, this is from Janet M. We're continuing on with your questions, Janet. What is it you think everyone should do at least once in their lives?
Once in their lives. See the Northern Lights.
Yeah, those are cool.
Those are
I've
cool.
seen them only once, but those
Are cool. Very cool.
What do you think everyone should do? Pay it forward. I think everybody should do it at least once in their lives. They should pay it forward. A lot of times, like at a fast food place. But you know what? Sometimes, like, I'll look at the car behind me and I'll see how many people are in it, and I'll say, how much is that car behind me? And if it's like within a reasonable amount of money, I'll pay it forward. But if they're ordering for their whole family,
Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
no, I'm not going to do that. What is it something a ton of people are obsessed with, but you just don't see the point?
Oh, what was it? I had one the other day. Go ahead, because I got to think of what it was. Because I just talked about the other day.
Mine is TikTok. I don't get it. I mean, or Snapchat. Isn't Snapchat something that you only see it and then it disappears?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Big butts.
And I cannot lie.
I do not get it.
don't get it.
It's like this thing is just, and it's like, oh man, and I'm like, what? Just don't get it.
I don't get it either. Who inspires you to be better?
Me.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to inspire yourself.
Yeah.
You got to do things for yourself. If you don't do it for yourself,
There
then
was the thing, I forgot who sent it to me. I got it the other day. I even showed Samantha. I go, this is a perfect Jim speech. It was a speech from Snoop Dogg. You had to have seen it. He was accepting an award. He's like, I'd like to accept this award on behalf of me. And I would like to thank me for putting in all the hard work. And I would like to thank me also for doing it. It was the whole speech was, I'd like to thank me.
well, that's on the. I think that's on the borderline of being conceited. In your group of friends, what role do you play?
As far as, like, yeah, I would say the jokester.
I would think that in my group of friends, I'm the one that organizes everything. I'm the organizer.
Probably.
If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
I don't know why, but I've always said Eric. I don't know why.
If I had to change my name, I don't know. I don't like Sandra, so I like Sandy. Who was it that just called me? Oh, what's his face? Steve across the street said, Sandra, thank you for letting me go in your pool. And I said, you call me Sandra again, you're not going in my pool again. He says, well, that's what Jim calls you. I go, that's not my name. It's Sandy. We had our neighbor in the pool yesterday with his wife and his little girl. I like my name, but I think Sandy, if I had to change it though.
Olivia.
No.
I would say you look like an Elizabeth.
No. Dakota. I'd like to have a name that you don't know. People always think I'm a man anyhow, so this way they
You
really.
think you're a man.
Jim, do people think I'm a man?
On the phone.
At a restaurant. Can I help you, sir? Or ma'am, can I help you? I get that a lot. But Dakota, because then they wouldn't
You just have to
know.
get a push-up bra. That's all.
They wouldn't know. That wouldn't help. If it was Dakota, they'd say, is that a boy or a girl? Like Pat.
Pat. Yeah.
But my Dakota, I would pick Dakota. Have you ever saved someone's life? I can't say that I've ever saved somebody's life.
Yes.
I can say yes. Yes.
Who'd you save?
The apprentice I had in the basket with me when when I
that's
broke
true.
the concrete.
Your dad saved his dad because he
Yep.
was choking when we were at the Olive Garden.
I say two.
Your dad when he was choking on the breadstick at Olive Garden?
Danny.
Oh, Danny, yes, I forgot about Danny.
And the pretzel rod.
Danny would have died if it was up to me. Danny always was, not so much now, but always was like if he would break something in half, like if he had to share a candy bar, he'd break it in half and he'd measure it. Well, most kids would be measuring it to see which was the bigger piece to keep. But Danny would measure it and give the bigger piece away. So they had pretzels and there was only one rod left. And so he broke it in half and he measured it and he gave it to Jimmy. Jimmy ate his like that.
Yeah.
And then Danny was eating his and Jimmy tried to take it away. And Danny was crying and he went, and he inhaled the pretzel rod. And it got lodged in his throat and I couldn't get it out. And I panicked. And he was like, what, 3 or 4?
3 or 4.
He was like, and just then Jim was coming home from work and he did Heimlich on him and saved him. Otherwise Danny would have died. But
Can we at least end on a happy note there?
he's alive. He's alive. I should have taken.
So he would have died if I would have left there. So I'll see you next week.
But no, I haven't saved anybody. I can't think that I have. I'd like to think I would. I always tell you if we're in the water. There's another
I take it back. I did save somebody else.
Who?
So there was Kyle at work, and I still to this day don't know how I did it, but he was on a scaffold, like 4 scaffolds up, so he was probably 20 feet in the air, 25 feet in the air. And I heard someone yell a bunch of profanities as I looked up, and I was standing next to the scaffolding, and he was coming down head first, but he had his harness on, but he didn't have it clipped off.
on.
And somehow I stuck, like right at the exact time, I stuck my arm straight out, grabbed it, and my arm only came down this far. Like I had his entire, and he's my size, so it was basically like all adrenaline, like, and his face was like, he got up, he's like, thank you, Jimmy. And I'm like, I have no clue how I did that.
I would say I just thought of somebody's life I saved. I saved your life. Because when Jimmy split his head open and we was telling everybody how much his mother knocked
I think I
into a
saved my
rack.
own life with the pressure I had on that thing.
No. And he was telling everybody when we were at the Big Boys and the girl said, how did you think? And he says, my mother pushed me into a rack. I got up and walked away. Otherwise, I saved her life.
You did.
But, no, I get, but I'm seriously, no, seriously, he was really getting me mad that day. He really was. After you have your little visit from social services.
That would be, yes.
My mom pushed me into a rack.
Well, I got married too when she was babysitting. That's it, I'm running away. And then I just ran next door to the school.
Yeah.
And she couldn't find me. And I was there the whole time watching her pass me by like, yep.
Jimmy was my trying child. And I had 3 more pregnancies after that. How that even, I only had 2 babies, but I mean, I had 3 pregnancies after that, and I don't know.
She was trying for better. Couldn't do it though.
No, everyone was like, oh my gosh, this one's a keeper. I don't know about Jimmy. I have another one. This one's a keeper. I don't know about Jimmy. Kind of like Lynn. But I wouldn't trade Jimmy for anything in
Nope.
the world. He's my love. I love my Jimmy. And anyway, and he's always Jimmy. When I was dating Jim, I always thought his mother called him Jimmy. And I'm thinking, he's a grown-ass man. Why are you calling him Jimmy? His name is Jim. It's Jim. Mm-hmm. And here's Jimmy's going to be 50.
Next year.
See, he says it don't bother him, but he points it out.
Well, no, it's a joke now.
Yeah, it is a joke now. Well, that's what Kylie always says. You know, Sandy's birthday's September 7th. She's going to be 71. Poor Sandy. That's my birthday's coming up. Poor Sandy.
Poor Sandy. What is it? Oh, we're not even in September yet, are we? 30th.
30th.
8 days.
Today is Wednesday, the 1st of September.
Oh, that's right.
Did you forget?
I did.
Did you forget?
I did.
You might have thought it was Monday the 30th.
You might have.
But you might have. But you would be wrong because it's Wednesday the 1st.
I chose
poorly. Anyway, if you have any questions,
Ask us.
ask us anything. You see, we'll answer any questions. So If you're new to our channel, please subscribe,
Comment.
like.
Oh,
I got it this week.
share.
Talk to you guys next week. Bye.